Very interesting, outspoken ladies. Michelle Laxalt, they're both in Washington. Michelle is the Republican consultant who says she has serious doubts about supporting John McCain as long as Sarah Palin is on the ticket. And Buchanan, Republican strategist, CNN political contributor, supporting John McCain and Sarah Palin. What are the concerns, Michelle?
The concerns center around, number one, the fact that Senator McCain made this decision predicated upon, Larry, a one-hour meeting with Governor Palin. And beyond that, we're looking at the oldest potential president in our country's history. He has had melanoma 3 times, so we cannot look at a vice president in the extract. In this instance, we have to look at a vice president and ask ourselves, can that vice president assume the presidency from day one? And I'm telling you that I have a huge difficulty with answering yes to that question when it's posed to me, for instance, by my daughters.
May I ask if your father, the distinguished former Senator Paul Laxalt, agrees with you?
My father and I, as you well understand, do not discuss issues upon which we disagree. I did not broach this with him for fear that that we would disagree, although remember this, and this is where Bay and I share a common history. It was Senator Paul Laxalt, a young United States senator, who, along with Ronald Reagan, chose in 1976 to challenge a very popular sitting Republican President, Gerald Ford. So independence is something that is ingrained, I think, in my DNA and Bay's as well.
Well put, Michelle. Bay, I want you to watch this and make a comment. Sarah Palin came under fierce scrutiny for TV interviews she did before the debate. She alluded to that in her closing statement. Watch.
So I like being able to answer these tough questions without the filter even of the mainstream media kind of telling viewers what they've just heard. I'd rather be able to just speak to the American people like we just did.
Bay, how do you respond to Michelle?
Oh, it's clear John McCain has made a remarkable decision. It was quite, looking back, it's brilliant. Here it is, he picked somebody who's unusual, exciting, authentic, fresh, exactly what the American people are looking for. They're sick and tired of Washington and the Washington elite. And so she comes on the scene, she really resurrects his campaign at the convention. She's a star there, and now after the press went after and went after, she comes in again, and last night she was terrific.
Bay, but Michelle's concern is the age of the president and the qualifications of her to be the president stepping in soon. That was her concern.
She has proved herself first as governor of a state to do a terrific job in 2 years. She did far more than Barack Obama did in his 4 years in the Senate. She has one accomplishment after another, all of which are very much on a presidential
level. So you have no concerns about her being president?
Not only am I not concerned, she is extraordinarily qualified. She showed herself to be the great communicator of Ronald Reagan as well.
She was even more pointed in
Ronald Reagan's class.
Excuse
me, Bay.
It comes to communication. She's right up there.
She absolutely. In terms of her capacity to master a stage and master a script, she is unequaled. We haven't seen anyone like her for years. She is extraordinary on a scripted basis. The question that has caused people like me great pause, as well as a lot of other Republicans throughout this country, is on an unstructured basis, namely when she's being asked very simple softball questions by arguably the most softball interviewer in the world, Katie Couric, and being stumped for too many common sense answers. That gave me a great deal of pause. She can prove herself if they set her
before you respond, Palin was even more pointed in her criticism, including Katie Couric, on appearance on Fox News. Watch.
The Sarah Palin in those interviews was a little bit annoyed because it's like, man, no matter what you say, you're going to get clobbered. If you choose to answer a question, you're going to get clobbered on the answer. If you choose to try to pivot and go on to another subject that you believe that Americans want to hear about, you'll get clobbered for that too.
I apologize for that, but Bay, doesn't Michelle have a fair critique here? Are you giving her no allowance at all?
No, there's no question that the Couric interview, the clips that we saw over and over and over, of which is probably 2 or 3 minutes at most, were not, she wasn't at her best. And I will give you 6 different reasons, but the way I say Michelle is wrong is because she went up on that stage yesterday with all the pressure of people saying she wasn't competent, and there she was. It was nothing scripted about that. They went from one issue after another. She held her own against a man who's been in the U.S. Senate 30 years, proving that you can come from Wasilla and have the experience of a governor of the governorship of Alaska and take on the fellows in Washington. She went toe-to-toe, and she whipped Senator Biden.
She'll have an opportunity to prove that if they cut her loose and let her answer unstructured questions for the rest of the show.
Okay, thanks. I guarantee we're going to have Michelle Laxalt and Babe Buchanan back. We've just touched the surface here. Stephanie, Georgette, Ed, and